Hello folks, thank you for dropping by. Today I will be sharing with you a list of some important strategies that a new beginner or a digital creator should be very familiar with in order to understand the projections of your upcoming videos based on the market trends regarding your niche, etc. And here goes. I am going to start with telling you that YouTube is a tool. It's a platform. It's a social media platform, a tool that focuses on marketing your message and distributing your message to the right audience, right region, right age group, right demographics, and the right message that needs to go out at what particular time so that you get your views. So put together, it is a marketing tool sharing your voice, your two bits, your perspectives on the particular niche that you're talking about, and it distributes it on its platform and shares it on the home page, thus reaching out to the right audience after filtering out from your videos the message you have shared and optimizing the message, thus selecting the kind of audience it needs to be put in front of. So there you go. Two things about it: marketing and distribution. Number two, there are a few tools out there that work in tangent with YouTube. One of them being TubeBuddy. Familiarize yourself with these terms, okay? TubeBuddy. What is it? What is TubeBuddy? You have to sign up for it. Thus far, they have a free version, so you can go look into it. I have downloaded that on my phone. It also is a sort of a newsletter, gives you the updates on what's happening with YouTube's algorithm, updates, guidelines, community-related policies, all the updates. So that's something which I think can become one of your strategies to read all the changes or the updates that YouTube provides. And TubeBuddy does a wonderful job sharing that news, okay? Apart from that, it also gives the aggregates of your video's performance, but you have to sign in and upload your videos. Are you willing to do that? It becomes pretty cumbersome sometimes, taking care of your YouTube studio as well. So initially, I would only recommend you to get familiar with what this particular tool helps in terms of giving you information with partnership with YouTube. So that's TubeBuddy for you. Number three, why you need to understand YouTube Studio on the tip of your fingers. This is the most important tool that YouTube gives to all the beginners to access. Number one, it shares your progress. It accumulates the history of all the numbers in terms of the reach, the audience, the views, the impressions, the click-through rates that come through once your video is published and is out there on the YouTube platform. So this is got to be the first thing you check at least once a day. That's what I do. I'm a new beginner. I like to see where my videos are reaching, what are the numbers, how many views, etc. Number two, it also very succinctly, subliminally, and with facts, the numbers that it brings forward and puts it right in front of you to tell you what needs to be improved, what needs to be kind of looked into. It recommends certain videos that are trending to work with that title, or to build a video based on that kind of title or that topic or that niche. Okay, so I from my own experience, I can tell you that I picked up one of the recommendations that YouTube forwarded to me about 2 months ago, and I literally made a video out of that, and that was during New Year's. Okay, putting together your New Year's resolution or your New Year's points or the vision board, etc. And I did pretty good on that particular video. So whatever it recommends doesn't mean it fits in your niche. Pick and choose what you think is worth spending time on building or making or putting together, okay? It should fall in your niche. because YouTube also starts sending out, trending videos to you based on what you watch. We know how this works, how the data is transferred, and how you are targeted or sent various advertising clips or videos. So whatever it sends doesn't necessarily mean will fit into your niche or your interest, but there are a few that will come through, and if you pick on them and start working on building similar message but putting in your flair, your perspective, your essence, your personality, you can create a video and then publish it. So YouTube, I must say, is the Bible of the YouTube platform, wherein it shares with us the analysis we can gather, progress of what was out there in our videos. It works on the history, okay? It is a historical data that's gathered. And there are various terms that come along with these reports that you can study. One of them is just familiarize yourself. Please do not be overwhelmed. I am a newbie in this particular journey, but I love to gather pertinent information that helps me understand better what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm not supposed to be doing, etc. And YouTube's YTube Studio does the job magnificently, okay? So YouTube Studio is something immediately downloaded on your smartphone or on your PC, your desktop, your laptop, and start getting used to seeing how the graphs are coming along. What are the peaks, the valleys, the troughs, and the highs, the lows. So I would like to share the terminology and the glossary, YouTube glossary, with these particular terms, okay? CTR, click-through rate. What does it mean? How many times your video has been clicked? The percentage, okay? Then AVD, average view duration. How long or what is the retention span of the particular video in terms of how long did it take to watch, or was it just in and out? So that retention, the watch time, these are the words you'll hear very often, okay? The watch time, the retention, the average view duration, that will clearly show. And you will slowly along the way understand how and when you need to capture the retention through various other features. Moving forward, impressions. What are impressions? When the algorithm pushes out your video after you've published it through your YouTube Studio, it'll push it out based on a time frame. That's important. Just keep. Some people just push it out immediately. I mean, they publish it immediately, algorithm pushes it out. The sensibility lies in keeping this basic strategy in mind. When you publish your video, put it under one of the three choices you have. Either you're going to put it as a public status, unlisted status, private status, and schedule it on the timeline that you wish for it to be out there. Put it under unlisted. Give YouTube algorithm time to chew on the data that it's collected from your video, the keywords, because it starts to filter out what, where, when you need to, it needs to share your video on the platform, the YouTube platform, okay? So when it pushes out your video and you see it on the YouTube homepage, that scrolling up and down, getting attracted towards a particular video is basically an impression mode, okay? But the minute they click on a particular video, say they love your title, your text, your thumbnail, then that becomes a click-through rate. And once that's the click-through rate takes place, how long does the AVD come into play? That means how long is the watch time, okay? So these are the terms, the CTR, AVD, impressions, the trends, the niche, where it pushes you out. You'll start seeing the niche, the comments that come from various people from various regions. So which niche you hit, which region you're getting responses in terms of views from. All this makes so much sense. And you slowly start narrowing down what needs to be put in the message of the various topics or titles in your thumbnail. So you see how beautifully the YouTube analysis and the report helps you to move on in your journey. It's a long-term journey, friends, men, women, 40 plus. It's not a fly-by-night program or a journey. You're not going to get lucky overnight. And I always put this caveat. You could get lucky, provided there is message, material in a content that is worthy of the virality it deserves. Something unique, something eye-catching, something very emotionally, compatibility hits the right, and the right buttons are pushed with the right audience that you're targeting. So to reach that stage, a lot of study goes in it. I was watching one of a 15-year-old young boys interview. Somebody was one of the podcasts he was being interviewed in. He has hit millions of views on his videos. Not one, not two, not three. Millions of views on 3 or 4 videos on his channel. But he says, I'm not surprised. Young 15-year-old, he says, I'm not surprised. So when he was being interviewed, they asked him, what is the tactics that you use? He says, I do a lot of study. I study my competition, meaning the niche that he's working on, what other players are talking about, or what tools they're utilizing, how they're editing, what time they're sending out or publishing their videos, and how to work towards the title, the text on the thumbnail, what kind of thumbnails. 15-year-old, he says, I do my research. Incubation time is doing research for about 10 to 15 players in my niche. And then he says, I narrow it down to 5 to 6 based on certain criteria I keep in mind. So it's, like I said, not going to be an overnight winning status quo for us, for anybody for that matter. When I say us, I mean the new beginners or the beginners. So if you have the time to share your content, do the due diligence. Now, you don't have to do the detailed due diligence. I've seen people who just talk about their life, they travel, and they hit their targets, their views. That's because those are the trending niche. But not everyone has the money, the time to be taking the camera and go out there, traveling the world globally and sharing their life. That's a different niche altogether. The money is required, time is required. A lifestyle which does not hinder your day-to-day, workings. So that is the important part, the niche, okay? And the audience, once you get your niche right, your audience is selected by the algorithm and it pushes out your clips based on that, okay? So half the work that YouTube does for you, you just have to narrow down a couple of things. Your niche and your thumbnail, it should be compelling, it should be exciting, it should be vibrant if you like the vibrant style, or it could be just, 3-color based, monochrome, or black and white. Study the colors that the successful YouTubers are utilizing. And not every style is going to fit your bill. Something that works for you, well and good. If you check out my playlist, my videos thus far, 30 of them, I've tried three different styles. There's a black and white, there's the red, white, and blue, and there was some very amateur style initially when I didn't know how to do my thumbnails. The apps I use for my thumbnails are Canva. There's one more. There's Canva, there's Pixel, and that's about it, 2 of them. I tried a couple others, but these are the 2 apps that I use for my thumbnails. And it's still a journey moving forward. I'm still working on getting the right thumbnail in place. Okay, so these are the things that you need to focus on. And like I mentioned earlier, YouTube does recommend in the YouTube Studio the videos that you should watch. There's a reason they recommend, but pick and choose what serves your purpose. And last but not the least, monetization. Your YouTube Studio will build in the monetization tab when you're eligible with the 4,000 watch time hours and minimum 1,000 subscribers. However, you need to know that YouTube has also started monetizing with 500 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours. How that's going to be for another video, I will share later. But meanwhile, I'm going to put my video in place here for you. There's a video I have titled as Tree Analogy. You can check it out, see how it works out, breaking down the niche and the market, the audience you choose to work with or share your message with. And there's another video that I talk about the CTR, the impressions, the ABD. So I do all the how-tos for the beginners. I understand that pain. I feel that pain. I went through it initially. I still am going through it. What initially? I am in the initial stages still, okay, of building my journey on YouTube. So I want to make it easy. I had to really research. Being a professor by nature, my profession, I love doing research on any topic that is relevant to what I'm working on. So that comes by default. However, not everybody has the time, the should I say sensitivity or the urge to sit and spend time in front of the PC or their phones, or their laptops, right? But that happens by default because of my career. I'm retired from that career, teaching, but once a teacher, always a teacher, right? So discuss that with you. Now there are two more, and I'm going to not rush through. I'm just going to share with you what they are, basically the definition, because if I go into the details, it'll kind of might go, above. Too much information at one shot is not healthy for beginners, okay? So the next one, I'm going to briefly tell you what vidIQ is all about. vidIQ, it works with YouTube, and you can sign up for it. What does it do? It's a tool. It's a tool, and they have two ways that you can participate with this particular tool. Either there's a paid version or there's a free version for you to utilize to understand what vidIQ does. What vidIQ does is it shares, how to go about creating, texting, titles, and descriptions that matter for the video in order to capture and entice the audience, okay? It goes into details about that. And there are many tutorials if you'd like to watch on YouTube, but that's what vidIQ. And apart from that, vidIQ has wonderful information to share, how to gather views, okay? Keyword research to be able to capture the algorithm, how to optimize for virality, for the success of the watch time. So vidIQ is an amazing tool. Check it out. And the last but not the least, I'm going to talk about Social Blade. Social Blade talks about just the way YouTube Studio talks about the history. The numbers it gathers, the data it gathers is the history of what your videos have performed, how they have performed. Social Blade talks about the future projection of the virality of your video, your vlogs. So two different things, but Social Blade is something I enjoy going and checking the trends, checking what is required to be part of the trend, putting one of your videos in there and checking to see what numbers it can predict based on the optimization it does from the text, from the description you've shared, and whether it's going to be worth your time. And not worth your time, basically the numbers that it chews out will give you a fair idea. Should you proceed with this niche, with this style, with the message that you're putting out there? So there you have it. I spoke to you about a couple of things, and I'm using my cue cards, and it's quite all right. It's very all right as a beginner to put together your cue cards because there's so much information. So I have touched on the YouTube glossary, talking about what YouTube is about, what is TubeBuddy, what is basically YouTube Studio, what is vidIQ, and lastly, what is Social Blade. Just make sure all these things are all these terminologies, all the glossary I've shared with you is part of your vocabulary as a YouTuber. When you hear, when you share, when you talk, and journey becomes a lot more fun. Knowledge is power. The more, the better. Until my next video, do subscribe and share and like. Switch on the bell icon if you think it's worth your time checking out another how-to video that I will be sharing soon. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.